This is the saddest segment we may ever do, I think.
So as
moment of silence.
Ginger, we love you. We still remember you. You have a headstone in our backyard because that day I dug her grave, put it in the backyard, and I painted a headstone for her. And it was just a regular old rock, that you get from Home Depot for like $3-4.
When are we getting to the
that.
silence part, Dave? Now I'm getting like a really mean look.
Okay. So yes.
Okay, so you didn't watch it.
So I didn't watch it. I couldn't bear myself to watch it.
What do you remember most about that game, Brad?
Man, I just remember that. It was a long time, many moons ago for me. But I just remember Alabama's just dominance from kickoff to the end of the game, which I was very surprised by. Just because I used to work with a chick who was like Clemson all day, every day.
Okay.
And she was just, hyping me up about, it's going to be, Alabama had never faced anybody like us and this and that and this and that. But as soon as I watched the game, I'm like, well, where's this Clemson that she's talking about? They just didn't show up. And it was very surprising to me.
Now, I did have the game on at my house, okay? And I remember coming back. I think Clemson was down by 10 at one point, and they had a chance to do like a UT USC championship where this was their moment to come back.
Of course, that's the reference he makes.
That's the last time we had a reference like that.
Right.
We had a national championship game that came down like that. But with that being said, it just didn't happen.
Look, when the lights come on, Alabama, at the end of the day, is just like we saw Notre Dame, who looked so good throughout that season. They looked stout, and it looked like children playing Alabama when it came to the Notre Dame-Alabama National Championship. We get to Clemson. They're running through people. They are high-flying. They're fun, exciting. Alabama slows the game down, tires them out, wears them out, and wins. I mean, it just looks like Alabama can dictate what their opponent does, and they have to play Alabama's game, and you are never going to beat Alabama at Alabama's game.
Okay, number 3, the overranked university.
That's a little bias there. Sponsored by David Carson. The Oklahoma Sooners. Shout out to Michael Phelps' child, Boomer. I don't think it's related, but I'm sure all the Sooner fans take it that way.
I hope not.
So
destined to be a loser.
Oklahoma, they have a good quarterback. Better than the Texas quarterback.
We don't know yet.
We don't know who's playing quarterback now that they moved Hurd to receiver.
By the way, you don't know this, but you will now. We have another Longhorn fan on the show.
Hook 'em, baby.
Let's go over this one more time. Raise your hand if you've ever attended the University of North Texas.
Yes, I did.
Right here. Now raise your hand if you've ever attended UT. Put your hand down.
Hey, I have members of my family who went to UT. So
I have members of my family
I've been, ushered in.
who went to Texas Women's. I have members of my family who went to TCU, and I actually hate TCU more for it.
My wife's an Aggie, by the way.
Right, and so here's what I'm saying. No matter what they say, I support the school that I went to. They are nothing but T-shirt fans.
But wait a second. Let this segment roll a little bit. Okay. You're going to be surprised at what Mr. David Carson did, okay?
Okay.
You're going to be so surprised.
I'm listening.
Okay.
You get an OU tattoo?
Okay. I thought about this before, okay? I have a clean slate, which means I don't have a tattoo. And the reason why I don't have a tattoo is because I'm so indecisive.
Like, you would probably get a Cumulus tattoo and then the next day transfer to CBS. Like, that's probably like a David Carson move.
And they're like, oh, man. Who was it? It was somebody like, oh, you don't even have your wife's name tattooed on you? Like, no.
Dude,
that's the worst move
I was told
ever.
at a very young age that only people's names you get tattooed on you are your children. That's it. Not a wife, not a girlfriend, not a mother, not a father, none of that.
That's probably a good move.
I don't know. I could see me getting something for like my sisters. I'm also like a tattoo person. I already have 3, and I don't plan on stopping anytime soon. They're just expensive, so
yeah,
it takes me some time to get them in between. But
okay, number 4, Florida State.
Oh, okay, damn, that's it.
Another ACC team comes in, number 4, Florida State. I'm not sure about them.
I mean, we don't know who Florida State is anymore.
No.
Like Jameis Winston era's over. They did okay last year, but they weren't super memorable.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, I'm gonna go through the list kind of fast now. Ohio State, They round out the top 5.
Ohio State is
and they're
is
loaded.
good.
They're loaded.
I would also I think Michigan should be maybe above LSU and Stanford.
Agreed. No, I think Notre Dame's ranked a little too high.
Always.
They're coming in at number 9. Tennessee, there's a lot of hype on Tennessee.
I don't ever get it. I don't ever get it.
I don't see it.
They did it last year too. They ranked them high, and it was like, why? What have you done for me lately?
And yeah, so
they have good recruiting classes, and they don't have any coaching talent to figure it out.
now Michigan State, they offloaded last year. They sent a lot of players to the NFL.
Right.
Are they going to be that good again? Possibly.
It could
Possibly
happen.
not. It could happen. They have great coaching there.
It's the Big Ten. There's like 3 good teams, and then everyone else you just
Right.
bully.
Yeah, it's like, okay, it's Michigan State, Ohio State.
Michigan State, Ohio State, and every now and then Wisconsin. Am I missing anybody who's meaningful?
Iowa has had a couple of good years.
They were
in
good
the
last
past.
year
Yeah,
also.
They were good in the past, but not consistently on the top of the
Right.
conference every year.
They are the occasional upstart to the Big Ten.
Very true.
Right.
They are the TCU of the Big Ten.
Number 12 is Ole Miss. Once again, Ole Miss kind of goes like, oh, it's Ole Miss.
It's so missing. We've lost 3 games in our conference. Like they constantly do really well. They usually upset one of the teams that's better than them,
Right.
and then they lose to 2 teams who are worse than them.
Yeah. So are they going to be the Final Four? No.
I like number 13. I like where they're ranked. I think it's about perfect.
Maybe a little higher. Maybe 1 or 2 slots
You think
higher.
they could be 1 or 2 slots higher?
Yeah, maybe 1 or 2
I
slots
think
higher.
Houston is.
But you never know because they're in that, was it the American
the
Conference?
American.
Amen. American.
America. I think Houston. They have a great coaching staff. They have proven themselves to be a power outside of the Power 5 conferences.
Right.
And when they go to their bowl games, they beat the Power Conference they get teed up against.
And they lead off against number 3, Oklahoma.
That could be fun. That could be really fun.
Do we know, is that game being, where's that game being
I'd like
played?
to see the spread. It looks like it's being played, I don't know, just as versus Oklahoma. I'd assume at Oklahoma.
No, I think
Well, if it's versus, that means they get them at home. It would, the schedule would probably say at Oklahoma.
Yeah, it would say at Oklahoma, but it also could be a neutral site
Very
because
true.
a lot of the opening week games are at a neutral site. Okay, so moving on from them, we have 14 TCU. Do they still have that quarterback? What's his name?
No, he
Trayvon?
yeah, he moved on.
Yeah.
He's playing in Seattle. Game-winning touchdown on.
Oh
Saturday.
yeah, you were telling me about that.
Okay. Just for they're playing at NRG Stadium in Houston.
Okay.
Ah.
So
So-
at Houston.
Right. But it's not
It's
not the
the
University of
Texans
Houston
stadium. It's
stadium.
not
Yeah.
U of H's stadium.
Yeah.
in Houston.
Okay, but that's still a home game for Houston.
it's very close. You
To be fair, OU travels well, especially into Texas.
Very
So
true.
it won't necessarily be too mismatched.
nothing drives me more nuts when I'm driving through the state of Texas and I see someone with a Texas license
Longhorns.
plate, with a Texas license plate with the
OU bumper sticker.
I call it a UO because it's the University of Oklahoma.
Underrated, is that?
Overrated university.
The University of Overrated.
I thought you thought they were always underrated, Dave.
No, no.
Okay, so TCU, Iowa. Again, Iowa's another one of those question mark teams. Can they repeat the success that they had last year? Doubtful, honestly.
Then they come into Georgia, and once again, Georgia's one of those teams like they're gonna
Always
have
in the
three
top
losses.
25, always going to lose 3 games.
and they're gonna fall out.
Yeah.
Okay. USC.
They're so all over the place. Now that they're getting deeper, they're solving some of their injury problems. So that's been a lot of the problems with USC. They'll have 2 or 3 guys go down, and because they were short on scholarships, they didn't have anybody to fill that role. But I think those problems are solving. I think within the next 5 years or so, we'll probably see a return to a more classic USC.
Okay, yeah, the Huskies, the University of Washington. Really don't.
Oklahoma State, they've been good consistently recently.
Number 20, North Carolina.
Ooh. Seth Luttrell, they lost their offensive coordinator. I just don't know if they'll be the same.
Number 21, very full of controversy.
Ooh.
And trust me, I have a lot to say about
Even
Baylor.
Bryles recently, as recent as today, came out and said he did nothing wrong, nothing unethical.
Brad, go ahead and look into that machine over there. I have a Bryles quote over there. Go ahead and play that for me, good sir.
Hit us with it, Brad.
You know, I would say just look at longevity. You know, look over a career, and you know, I've been in 38 years, and I've done you know, lived the right way for 60 years of my life, and never done anything illegal, immoral, unethical, and I think when the end of the day, all that will show itself, and we'll be in good shape. I'm excited about coaching again. I really am, because if you lose your dog, all of a sudden, you're looking around hollering for him. You'll stay up late at night looking for him, and I've lost my dog. My dog's football, and I'm ready to go find it again.
Okay. Lost my dog.
Lost my dog. Yeah, and your dog bit a lot of people.
We need to put that dog down so quick.
And I just look, there's two ways to look at the Bryles, and we talked about this thing on one of our old shows, and there are two ways to boil it down. Either he is not a good enough coach that he's involved deep enough at a level of his players that he knows what's going on, or he did know about all of it and he let it happen.
I think he let it happen. Okay, this is what kind of drives me nuts about the whole Baylor thing, okay? And because you guys can't see what I'm doing, I actually stood up. This is how
Dave's stepping up on his soapbox.
Stepped up. Yeah, exactly. I'm stepping on my soapbox here. How this is not turned into the Penn State thing drives me crazy. As soon as the same thing with Joe Pa and whoever Sandusky the coach was, how is this not getting the same coverage as everything as they did, and how come they're not being pulled scholarships, and how come they're not getting games taken away? How come the players are just it's a farce of how everything's being looked at with this team. And plus, they're not a state university, so everything that's revealed in this Pepper Hamilton report doesn't have to come out because they're a private university.
Right. Look,
at some point, all this needs to be revealed and show how dirty they really are.
Either next year or the year after, Art Briles is going to be the most coveted coach, and everyone is just going to forget this. But one of the highlight moments to me that reminds me is there was a kid from Boise State, a defensive lineman, one of the ones who got in trouble.
Right.
Boise State. Already gotten in trouble in Boise State for literally the same thing, for sexual assault related incidents.
Right.
And they knowingly took that kid. And Briles tried to say that he didn't know, that the Boise State people didn't, but they did.
Oh,
the Boise State coach was like, yeah, no, absolutely, we knew what happened. That's why we kicked him off our team, and that's why he went to Baylor. So if he's willing to do that and gamble on those kind of players that they're going to keep their act together for a couple of seasons before they graduate, it just shows you what he's willing to do to win.
It all goes back to Ken Starr in the email with the title, "I was raped at Baylor." Oh, I didn't read that email. Oh, I might have read that email. Oh, I get so many emails. I may have seen that email. Come on, let's get the story out there. But guess what? It's not going to happen.
No.
As much as we want to get on our soapbox and claim about it. But if you are a Baylor fan, I feel sorry for you. I hope you have something that's going to change your program around, because someone that's on the outside who doesn't like Baylor, first off, your program's really shady.
Yeah, I mean, and again, another thing that irritates me is
you even covered up a murder.
It's systemic, and if you remember the Brittany Griner while she was there, she couldn't come out because Baylor's a Christian university. I put my hand in air quotes for the people outside
Christian
of the studio.
Yeah,
right. They're a Christian university, and she couldn't come out, and then. As soon as she leaves, she's out, and everyone doesn't support her and stuff for Baylor after she takes you to the national championship game several times and is one of the best players in women's basketball of all time. She allowed you to compete with UConn because there's no one like her in women's basketball, and then now all of a sudden you distance yourself from her because of her lifestyle choices when you used her for 4 years of eligibility. That's just the system that Baylor operates in, and it's just really irritating.
Okay, so.
Moving on.
Let's get off. Let's go to another green team. Let's go to number 22, Oregon.
Haven't been the same since Chip Kelly.
No, they haven't.
Nope.
So I think they're probably ranked where they need to be. And once again, the Pac-12.
But is USC better than Oregon? Genuinely? They're the same level of good to me. And for them to be as far apart on the charts as they are, I mean, I guess it's what, 5 slots?
Right. No, see, I think the better team in the Pac-12, let's go Louisville's there. So
Louisville is where they are.
They are there. I think UCLA.
They are who we thought they were.
I think UCLA is better than the the other Pac-12.
The Bruins are fun. I like them recently. You know,
Right.
like they're a hard team